friends, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Okay, let's see. Where am I? So we are in T's paper crafting event group, and up after me is going to be Miss Amy from Crafts by Amy. So make sure that you are following along. And thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it. So today is Crafter's Choice, but we are in T's paper crafting events group, which means you do have to use paper. I am working on a journal because this has to go out Saturday. I will be delivering this. So needless to say that I am working a little far behind on it. But come on in, join me. Hopefully we can work on some of this. I'll be working on it pretty much all day today. That was like my thing for today, was to make sure that I got this done. And let's see if I can get this out of my Telegram, because you know me, I always forget to do that. But come on in, hop on in, and hopefully you guys will come and join us. Miss Angie was on earlier. She did this super cute graduation cap, which is adorable. Alright, so as you guys know, so see, these are some of the printables, so I'm still working on some of these things here. So I'm still working on printables and things of that nature. This is the journal cover. We did create this. We made the little iconic little pieces here as well. And I just noticed that that is coming off. So we are going to give it a little bit of glue, because I definitely do not want that to come off. Alright. And we will try to settle this one down. So this is going to my very best friend. She's like a sister, and she is having her first baby. She was married last year, and this year it's so cute because while they're celebrating their first year anniversary, they're also celebrating that they are going to be having their first baby. So she just had her birthday, and I told her, you know, when I wished her happy birthday, I was like, I'll see you in 10 days for the thing. Hi there, Miss Krista. So this is the cover that we did. Hi, Miss Amanda, how are you? And we worked on the inside of it, and I've got a whole bunch of printables and things that I have here. Like I said, I've been printing some things off. I do have some scrapbook papers and things, because so I normally print, sometimes I'll double side print, but I usually only print on one side to leave extra space for you to, like, you know, write and add things in. But because this journal already has a lot of writing, I do want to add like some accent pages into here. And then I also noticed that accidentally some of my pages printed on regular white paper, so we are going to try to fix that. We're going to try to fix that, and then hopefully get this signature. Hopefully we'll get this one signature sewn in. That would leave me only the first signature that I need to sign, that I would need to do. And all of these pages also need to be trimmed down, because as you can tell, there's too much of a lip here, and I personally don't like that. So, and it's just the way it printed. I mean, I tried, but there was no way around because of the way this file is. Now this did come off of Etsy. So I'm just going to grab this right here, and we are going to just glue it on straight. That's pretty much all we're going to do, is we're going to glue this on. I'm going to trim a little bit of this top here. But thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate y'all. Yeah. Alright, so this one says, "Our letter to you on your 4th birthday." This album does go up to the child's 5th birthday. So you've got all of your typical things that you will be doing for the first like year or so, and then after that there are a few pages for every year, like, you know, what are some of the things that it does? So we have things like your 4th birth. So there's going to be letters to you, birthday memories, you know, what did you do on your birthday? So like, if, you know, was there a birthday party theme? Where was it held? What was the cake? What kind of gifts did you get? Pictures, a spot for pictures. There's, okay, you are 4 years old, you know, about you, like what do you like, what don't you like, special memories and different milestones. So you get to like write all of these things in for the specific years. So I thought that was really, really neat. Hey there, Miss Amy. I'm gonna go quickly and grab a tape runner right quick. Only because it will make it easier. So I will use a combination of the tape runner and glue to stick these down. How are you doing, Miss Amy? So up after me is Miss Amy. So y'all make sure you stick around to see what she's going to do. We've already had 3 other amazing presenters today. So I really hope that you will go and rewatch the replays. But we have a day filled with presenters. Just know that when you go see, and I did put it in when I shared it, that Miss Susan Subi Designs, she had sound issues. So just FYI that when you go watch it, you know, but she's working on a really pretty journal. And Miss Linda did a very adorable journal. Hi there. Hello, hello, Miss Sheila. How are you, my sweet friend? She was doing a journal covering a journal. So, you know, if you don't feel comfortable building a journal or sewing it in, she showed an amazing way to still make the journal your own, even if you know, buy the pre-made ones. Nobody said that that to make a journal you have to know how to sew them in. There's, you know, so many options. How are you doing today, Miss Sheila? I hope you are doing well. Let's trim this one down and we'll add it on the other side. Hello, Miss Angie. It was so nice to have you in the event today. I loved your idea. That is an amazing idea for a centerpiece. So need to think about doing something like that. I meant to ask you, where were you in the voting? I know when I voted yesterday you were 8th place. So for those who do not know, our friend and artist, Miss Angie, is participating in the Johnny Depp artist thing. I forget what it's called. And you get to vote every day for your favorite artist, and there's artists in different categories. And Miss Angie was she was in the 8th spot, which was awesome. She is an amazing artist. Yay! Well, if you haven't voted for Miss Angie, I know she has a post up on her page with the link where you can go vote, and you can do it for free every day. You can also donate and give her more votes, because it is at the end a charity that does help upcoming artists. So it's a good cause. It's a philanthropy cause, I guess is what you would call it. So yeah. Well, you should be very proud of yourself, because I know that I'm sure there are lots of people that signed up for that. Honestly, I had thought about it, but then at the same time I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I wasn't sure if I should. If that makes any sense. See, there you go. So it's good. It's a good thing, and that's, that's important. So if you can vote, and if you are able to donate, that's a good cause. Alright, so I do have like these baby themed scrapbook papers that I think I'm going to use, especially to cover up, like I said, some of these background ones, because, there are a lot of people that struggle with mental health. You know, many times it is more visible on some people than on others. Does not diminish the fight and the struggle that people go through. It's always important, I believe, for people to know that you are there to support them no matter what's going on, because it is hard. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. I posted about there being a 5.9 earthquake on the Richter scale over in, actually on the mainland in Okinawa, which is where my son is stationed, over which is an island off of Japan. And you know, he messaged me last night and was like, I just felt my first earthquake. So of course I quickly looked it up and I was like, oh my gosh, that was a big one. And then you know, the next thing you think about is tsunamis because of the area that he's in. But they said that there wasn't any fear of tsunamis, so that was a good thing. But you know, my mom was like, don't worry, you know, he's in a safe place because they have some of the best infrastructure when it comes to earthquakes and things of that nature. And I'm like, I know this, but it doesn't make, you know, it doesn't make my fear any less. So yeah, he had asked if me and my daughter could come and visit him in October, like maybe October, September, October, and I was like, I don't think I can. He was like, oh, he'll pay half of them, half of the tickets. I was like, let me see. And then my daughter was telling me that he had said that he might come for Christmas because he's like, he's liking it, but he's homesick. Like, he's missing us. And I'm like, so now I kind of feel bad that I can't go see him. I told him to let me know if he is coming, because then that means I need to get a guest bed, because we don't have a guest bed. Yeah, it is scary, you know, whenever our babies are away from us. And especially because the world is just so crazy. And if, you know, as mamas, we want to protect our babies. Like, told my oldest, like, you know, like, I don't care how old you are. You could be 50, you're still gonna be my baby. I was like, that's never gonna change. You know, and it's comforting when your little one, you know, when your kid messages you because they have questions and they want mommy's opinion, or they need mommy's, you know, advice with things. As we say, you know, you never stop being important for your children. Even when they leave, yes, I know the empty nest is definitely a thing. But I think because my kids still talk with me and all that, it hasn't been as hard for the two boys to have moved out. Hey there, Miss Renee. Thank you so much for the sprinkles, my friend. I appreciate you. Okay, so we decorated this page. We did this page. This page is going to need to be trimmed. It doesn't matter where in the world those kids will be. I want them to know that they can always count on me to be around, even if it is just a phone call or a text message. So it's funny because I asked my son, like, the one that's in Japan, I was like, is everything okay? Are you doing alright? You know, and he's like, yeah, living the dream. And as I was getting ready to answer him, and he's like, sometimes a nightmare is somebody's dream. And I'm like, well, I hope you're not living a nightmare. He's like, no, mama, no, I'm not, I promise, I'm good. He's like, I was joking, I didn't mean it like that. I'm like, well, don't joke like that. I'm a goofball child of mine. Hey there, Miss Linda. Hello, welcome in. So I'm going to save these strips because we can make pockets with them, we can make tags with them. So I'm going to keep the pieces of paper that we are not using, okay? Alright, so this one has a, you know, like some spots to write on. This one has areas for photos, so I definitely want this page to be sturdier than what it currently is, because this flimsy regular paper is not going to cut it. So I did bring a cardstock piece of paper with me that we can use to put on the background, so it's a little sturdier for when they go to glue pictures on. Yeah, it's gonna have to be this way. Okay. So yeah, if you guys missed any of today's presenters, oh yeah, it don't matter how you know how old they get. We're always gonna be worried. You know, it's like when our boys are on our auto insurance policy, right? Because it's cheaper than them trying to get it on their own. And so my oldest calls me. He's like, Mom, I was in an accident. What do I need to do now? And I'm like, well, first of all, are you okay? Is everybody okay? He's like, yeah, we're okay. I'm just really mad because this lady's a nurse and I messed up her car. And I'm like, okay, but is everybody alright? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm not mad. I just want to make sure that everybody's okay. That's my only concern. Your son was in the Navy. He was lucky enough to finish his military time on a sub stationed at, off of Washington. Cool. He did not want to do submarines. Yes, they pay a submarine dock a lot more because he went in as a medic. I think he was not too happy with the idea of confined spaces. So he said no to the to submarines, and he actually even said no to being on a hospital or ship, and he did his specialty as a field medic, and that's actually what he's doing right now. He's with a team of Marines. They're doing field training, so he's out there with them while they're doing their training because he's the doc. And that's where he was. He said he was on the ground and everything started swaying back and forth when the earthquake happened. And I was like, yeah, it was pretty darn strong. But he said that headquarters radioed and said that, you know, there was no concern for tsunami, so they weren't, you know, they didn't have to like evacuate and come back in. Which I'm glad to hear that they were on top of stuff like that, you know? Alright. Ooh, how much of a lip does this thing have? Yeah, we'll see, because I don't know if he, like, part of him said he was going to make a career out of this, like a military career. But then one of his friends, who they had both talked about going to college together, and he still talks with him. They play video games together. So he actually ended up going to the college that my son wanted to go to, and my daughter's saying that now he's kind of regretting not having gone to college first. And I was like, yeah, but you know, y'all kids are stubborn and won't listen to mom. Gotta do things your own ways. It just is what it is. Yep, he's the doc. He said that if he was gonna join, it was that he was gonna do his best to save lives, not take lives, which is why he did not want to go into like a combat specific mission. I think a lot of it was, y'all remember the movie Hacksaw Ridge that came out? It's actually based on a true story. That he read the book and saw the movie, and that really left a very big impression on him. And now he will, obviously, he will take up arms. He's actually not bad at it. But again, the doc only really has to do that if he has to protect himself or help protect the team that he's with. He's not sent in for combat, which is what he did not want to do. No, he's Navy. He is Navy. So the Marines don't have docks. The docks are provided to the Marines by the Navy. And he wanted to join the Navy out of all the branches so that he could have more of a chance to see the world, he said. I was like, okay. He was slick though, because he knew that I would not be happy if he joined the Marines, because, you know, Marines first in, last out, and they are trained, you know, to be, you know, war machines pretty much. And that is, I would have supported him if that's what he wanted, but he also knew that I would not have been happy with it. Because he told me that. He's like, don't worry, Mom, I'm not going Marines because I know what you would tell me. And I was like, well, I'm so glad I don't have to have that conversation with you. see, so like right here, this would be really cute to maybe take a piece of this and we can turn this into a little tuck spot. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. Let me use my cutting thing. We're just going to cut this at a bit of an angle and make it like a little pocket that we can glue right here on the edge, and then that can be a little pocket where they can add something specific that they want for the child. But yeah, don't you just love it when your kids know you enough to know what to already have a whole contingency, because they know what you're gonna probably either fuss at them about or tell them no. And I told him, I was like, well, if you really want to be a Marine, you know I'll support you. I'm not going to be happy about it, but he's like, I know, Mom. He's like, but me wanting to join is not to go and take lives. I want to save lives, so I would go in as a medic. I was like, oh, okay. So I am making a journal that is a memory book. That'll be a baby memory book, and I'm just working on pages because some of them, so I don't print double-sided, but some of them printed on regular printer paper instead of my nice thicker presentation paper that holds up better. So I'm having to kind of fix my boo-boo because I didn't pay attention. So I'm just gluing on some paper to them, whether it's scrapbook paper or cardstock or something of that nature. But this is actually going to be for my friend who's having her baby showers this Saturday. So I gotta get this rolling. And then at some point I have to make one for my sister as well, because my sister's also pregnant. They're both expecting boys. So this is for little Dakota. And then my sister's baby's gonna be Jose Julian. So I'm super excited about that. You know, I thought about it and I was like, you know, yes, I could buy diapers or something like that, but I was like, you know what? I remember how important it was for me to have a memory album for my first kiddo, to the point where I actually made it. Like, I did the printables, you know, back in the day when all we had was Word and PowerPoint and clip art and stuff like that. And so I did it like that for my oldest. And don't get me wrong, to this day my daughter still gets mad that she doesn't have one. I think I'm gonna have to end up making her one at some point. But right now I gotta get these done. Even my husband was like, "Are you done with it?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "You know, it's this Saturday, right?" I was like, "I know. That's what I'm gonna be working on today. That was the plan. Today is get this thing done. Get it done, get it all finished. So while everybody else is gonna be live today, I'm gonna still be working on stuff. So I'll be listening and chatting with everybody while you guys are presenting. and I will be working. Yes, Miss Patty, exactly. And the thing about it is we can treasure the memories even in journaling. So this cute little kit, printable kit, like I said, I got this on off of Etsy. It's like I told my husband, I was like, I could have sat down in Canva and done it. I just don't have the time nor the brain power right now to try to do that. And I'm kind of itching for time right now. So, and then he was like, well, have you gotten your final grades? No, let me get this done and then I will work on final grades. I gotta get all of that done. I got a whole lot of stuff. You're making the tassel right now? You've made more for gifts than for your own. You know, that's normally how that ends up happening. That's normally how it ends up happening. We end up making more for gifts than our own. I think that's just how things tend to work out. I think we're really bad about getting things done for ourselves. We tend to make sure that everybody else is always taken care of, right? Isn't that normally how it works out? Oh, wait a second. I need to score this. You know, I never did the whole layouts and stuff like that, like I've seen for scrapbooking, but I do like to preserve the memories. So even when I look back at things that I've done in the past, it's always been more of like a journal style memory keeping that I've done. And that will dry, that purple glue there will dry. It will dry clear, so you won't see it once it's dry. And then, like I said, we can come back and we can add some decoration or something to the pages here. I don't normally like to double up on my pages because it makes the signature really thick. But seeing as I need to get these in, it is what it is. Okay. Wait a second. This is 4th year. That's 5th year. Year 2. Did I just mix up the pages? Yay. Year 2. Year 3. Let's see. That's there. Then this one is, right now I'm going through boxes of pictures and only keeping what I'll use. Yeah, you know, that's actually, I actually do have boxes of pictures. But a lot of the kids' pictures are actually digital now. because most of them were taken with a phone, and as my daughter aptly pointed out, the ones from like when she was little are crappy as all heck because, well, the technology back then was crappy compared to nowadays. And I'm like, I can't change that. I was like, child, I really cannot change that. I know that there's like programs that you could get that'll help you to like remaster the digitalization of them. So, but I will end up making something for her, because like I do want to go from like when she was a baby till like now, and do something for her. It won't be for her graduation, and I don't even think I could get it done for her birthday because her birthday is in June. So I don't see that happening. But I definitely have plans to work and get that done. Oh, I print the pictures from my phone too. All, you know, what she was talking about was the fact that a lot of the pictures that I have are pictures from that I took with my phone, you know, back in, you know, 2 decades ago, almost, because, you know, she's 18, so almost 2 decades ago, and of course the quality is not good. Hey there, sweet Carla, how are you, my friend? I hope you're having a better day today. Hi, my sweet Susan, how are you? I loved your journal. I'm sad I didn't get to hear you though. I don't know what the heck was going on. But it was really, your journal was really nice, my friend. So some of these pages are going to be a little longer than others, and that's fine. I personally don't have an issue with that. So they're just going to roll with what we can make. So where did you get the prints from? So for anybody who missed out, Miss Sue B Designs, she was on at 2 p.m. She was our second presenter. She had some technical sound issues, so we watched her craft like a silent movie. But you can still see the creativity, you can still see what she's doing, and all the stuff. We just didn't get to hear her sweet voice, that's all. That was all. And then, like I said, Miss Angie, who was up before me, and I'm so glad she was able to join us. She hasn't been in our group for a while now. She's been a busy little artist. She made this super cute cap with the florals and everything, and she made it out of the square cork boards you can get at the Dollar Tree and the little white plastic containers, which was so cool. And up after me, here in about 15 minutes, is going to be Miss Amy, and I'm curious to see what she's going to do, or she's going to continue working on something. It is crafter's choice. The only thing is you have to use paper, so you can do whatever you wish to do as long as you use paper somehow. And obviously I do need to trim pages. I know. Okay, let me make sure that these are good before I start, you know, before I decide that I'm gonna start doing, you know, trying to do anything. Okay, so year 1, about you, pictures of year 1, first birthday, birthday memories, watching you grow, year 1, hand footprints, letter to you. Okay, wait a second. Year 2, about you, year 2, pictures, birthday, year 2, memories, letter to you, letter to you. Year 3, about you and pictures, birthday, birthday memories, letter to you, 4 years old, photos, birthday, letter to you. Oh, wait a second. 4-year birthday memories. Was a I think that is in the wrong spot. So the memories is supposed to be after 3rd birthday. So after birthday. Letters, 4 years old. Here. Birthday. And then memories. And then letters to you on your 4th birthday. There we go. This one goes up till year 5. About you, year 5, birthday, birthday memories, letters to you, letters to you, letters to you. Okay, so that'll work. Now I just have to work on the sizing so that then I can sew this signature in. So this is actually the 2nd signature. The first signature is from the moment that we found out that we were waiting for you till right before till like 11 months. And then, like I said, it starts here, you know, you're 1 year old. So there's two there's 2 signatures that I'm making to this book. Okay. So first things first, we do need to trim pages down, and I'm actually going to use a different cutter. I am glad that you guys like it. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, when I had my little boy, I did all of these. Like I printed them, wrote them up. I spent hours while I was pregnant making him an album. So I just thought that it would be really cool for my friend to have an album for her baby. You know? I know that, you know, she already has a bonus kiddo because her husband already has a son from his first marriage. But this is her first child. So I know that feeling of enthusiasm for the first kid and just, you know, wanting to save all the memories and everything else. And I just wanted to give her something special. And it's funny because then my sister was like, well, what are you making for me? And I'm like, well, I'm making you one too, of course. I'm like, the only difference is yours is going to be in Spanish. Because I don't think she wants it in English. So that one I will have to sit down and I will actually have to type out stuff because Yeah, go figure. I did not find anything, like most, you put baby albums and pretty much everything that pops up printable wise tends to be in English, so I will probably have to make that myself. Oh yeah, I need to cut these down. These are too tall. So y'all just stay tuned, because we will be going to see Crafts by Amy before you know it. And she always makes the cutest things. She's very talented when it comes to paper and journals, all the things. So you can definitely learn a lot from her. I know I do. And again, if they're not perfect all in size, it's fine. It's supposed to be handmade. It's not supposed to be, it's not supposed to be perfect, factory made. So if you have some pages that are a little taller, a little bit less, yeah. I have a scrapbook for my oldest, but never got time to do one for your twins. Well, I mean, I know how that goes. Like I said, I did. My oldest got 3. My youngest one has half of one, because I at least started it. My daughter I never even got around to starting. So, believe me, she gets mad that the boys got stuff and she didn't. So, and I'm like, oh my word, child, you are just something else. Can never keep that child happy. Oh. But you know, as we say, I would never have it any other way. I love that girl, and she knows it. I'm just saying the truth. I don't know what you're talking about, but thank you for telling me I'm sweet. So these ones I think I pretty much did them all about. And no, I'm not measuring these. Again, if some are tall, some are short, that is fine. I have plenty of space for my spine to wiggle it around to make sure that it does fit right. So I'm not worried in that case. We made sure that the spine was going to be wide enough and tall enough that we could fit, you know, anything of an 8.5 by 11 paper. So we're good. Miss Angie, you'll end up making that scrapbook, believe me, even if it's to gift it as, you know, a college graduation or a wedding gift or something, you know, something to give them to have to hold on to for later, down the road, you know, even if, you know, it's specific to each one and you can always make one of them together, but, you know, down at the end of the day, they are going to love whatever you can. So I know my daughter would like for me to make her one, but her biggest thing is she wants me to make her a recipe book with all of my recipes, because she says that she wants to be able to cook them. I told her it's going to be hard because a lot of the stuff that they love is stuff that I made out of necessity or by accident. So it's not like I have written down recipes. So I gotta go into the kitchen and make the stuff and then write recipes to them. Okay. Save all the paper trimmings. They're going into my turn into pulp to make paper thing. Alright. So, you all want to? Okay, so I'm thinking that with the way that I have this down, I'm probably going to do 1 and then 2 and leave enough space, because they are going to bulk out, especially when they start adding the pictures and stuff. It's gonna start to alligator a lot. But that's the whole reason why I made it as wide as I did, because I normally don't make journals this wide, but I know that, you know, you're going to want to put those pictures in. You're going to want to save all those things, so you're going to end up wanting to have space for it to alligator out, right? So that is going to go right there. I think that's going to be pretty cool. And then I do have this cut out here, and I'm trying to see, I wonder if I want to put "That's My Kid" on the front here, because it's all about the birthdays. You smiled for the first time and I cried. I just got here and I'm already awesome. Oh baby, great things come in small packages. Stinking cute, twinkle twinkle, happy little family. I love mommy, I love daddy. So loved, cozy toesies. A child fills a place in your heart. Oh, I think I'm going to put that one. A child fills a place in your heart that you never knew was empty. That's the one I'm going to put. Alright, I'm going to hop off because I need to go and make sure that Miss Amy gets shared into the group. Y'all, stick around. We have a day filled with creatives all the way up till 9 p.m. tonight is our last presenter, Miss Jamie. She'll be popping on at that time, so make sure that you stick around to watch. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. I love you guys very, very much. I'm gonna head over so I can get her shared in. Y'all have a wonderful day. I love you guys, and remember that you are loved. Ciao. Oh, you can watch the replay, my sweet friend. I love you, Miss Chandra.